The Republican Party of North Carolina this week passed new state and federal district maps that effectively gerrymander Democrats out of at least 3 House seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The state maps also gerrymander the state in such a way that Republicans have effectively solidified their control over the state of North Carolina, possibly for generations. Here's what happened. Right now, in the U.S. House, well, in the state, let's start with the state, sorry. In the state of North Carolina, the House and Senate are controlled by Republicans. The Supreme Court of North Carolina recently flipped from Democratic control to Republican control. So Republicans control all of North Carolina, and they're using that power to their advantage. So the state maps pretty much guarantee that a majority of the districts are Republican, and Democrats will have no chance until possibly the next redistricting to win an election or to get a majority in an election. On the federal side, same scenario. Right now in the House of Representatives, the delegation from North Carolina is 7 Republicans, 7 Democrats. Evenly split down the middle for a, swing state, which seems about right? You're a purple state. You got 7 Republicans, 7 Democrats. You're perfectly down the middle. Perfectly balanced, right? Well, they're not okay with that. So the new district maps, instead of having, some Republican, some Democrat, and then some swing, the new one creates 10 Republican solid districts, 3 possibly Democratic districts, and then 1 swing district. And they, of course, did that by taking all of the people of color out of their districts and scooping them up into parts of the Republican districts to dilute their votes. That's how the gerrymander happens. But here's what's even more sick. Paul Schumacher, a senior Republican consultant in North Carolina, had this to say. The chickens are coming home to roost for the Democrats. Elections have consequences. That is a quote from Mr. Schumacher, according to the Washington Post. The chickens are coming home to roost. Elections have consequences. And those consequences just happen to be that we're going to gerrymander the hell out of the state so Democrats can never win again. Y'all should have thought about that before you lost the election, Mr. Schumacher says. This son of a bitch is admitting that his party is going to gerrymander the hell out of it because we feel like we got a mandate from the voters. They're openly admitting it. And guess what? As I mentioned earlier, the state Supreme Court recently flipped from Democratic control to Republican control. They've already said that, yeah, this is allowed. This party won the election, therefore they get to do whatever they want. So I don't know that I'd be looking to the court system for any kind of remedy here. Republicans did win. Elections do have consequences, and the consequences for the voters in North Carolina are that if you're not a Republican, your vote no longer matters in that state in those elections. That's the consequence. You just disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of voters because that's the only way Republicans can keep power, right? Republicans love to tell us, we hear it every day, we hear it from Donald Trump, that the Democrats are the ones who cheat in elections. Bullcrap. This is cheating. This is the only way Republicans can hold on to power, is to gerrymander the hell out of their states to dilute those Democratic votes. Because they know that, yeah, every now and then they win elections without gerrymandering. But once the people see their policies, they're not going to vote for them again, which is why we have to create these weird-looking districts. Like Dan Crenshaw's district in Texas, by the way, is like a circle, and then it's got these bands going all around it to do all that. Jim Jordan's district is hugely gerrymandered, and now the entire state of North Carolina is hugely gerrymandered. Because, again, this is the only way that Republicans can hold on to power, because God knows they can't do it by offering good legislation that people want to keep voting for. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.